Namaskar and welcome to this exciting episode of Sattology, debunking mythology. Sattology means science of truth, the study of truth. And mythology, on the other hand, is an antonym which means study or science of fake, lie, or imagination, literally. That's how the word stands for mythology. So, coming from Sanskrit, myth in Devanagari plus logos, which is a Latin word for study or science. From logi, the word comes from there. So, please don't use the word mythology for Ramayana and Mahabharata, at least, because we have proved it on our channel. My travels across the world following the footprints of Ramayana and Mahabharata have proved that. And many of my books are related to that. And you can see how the geography of the world is perfectly described in Ramayana and Mahabharata. I have a very, very special guest today. He's a Central Information Commissioner and he comes on the national TV and he's an author of the book Savarkar, very famous book in India, in the life and history of Savarkar. So let us welcome Shri Uday Mahurkar.
Namaskar.
Namaskar and welcome to the show. I'm just following your tweets, amazing tweets you do, informative tweets. One of the tweets you wrote, strange are the ways in this nation, in keeping with these great words of his, based on the tenets of Gita Maratha commander, Dattaji Shinde sacrificed his life at Burari Ghat to save Delhi from the menace of Afghan invader Abdali and his ally Najib Khan. But even Delhi doesn't know him. My question is, recently I went to Hastinapur near Delhi. Most of the Delhi people don't even know where is Hastinapur. They thought it was a myth. And today's generation, even mid-generation, like the people who are in 40s, they also did not know. And I was surprised that without Hastinapur, Indraprastha has no origin. Indraprastha came into account because of Hastinapur. The entire capital of Jambu Dweep was actually Hastinapur. Because if you match the coordinates from Hastinapur latitude, it goes to Egypt, pyramids of Egypt. And the same latitude goes right till China. It's like in a straight line. If you follow the straight line east-west, you'll see the two oceans on either sides. One on the western side of Africa, another on the western side of Cambodia, eastern side of Cambodia. So why, when you are highlighting these histories, why this much lack of information is there, and how the history of Dattaji Shinde very important for people of Delhi to know that who protected them.
You see, we have to dwell into history of India over the last 100 years. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, very clear, very clear.
Yeah.
We are doing this so that you are on the full screen now.
Yeah. Now you get a proper answer to this question of yours. We have to go back into the history of this country over the last 100 years. You see, after Mahatma Gandhi came onto the scene, India's ideological picture underwent a big change. Mahatma Gandhi subscribed to a very self-pacifist ideology, which was the ideology of complete non-violence. Neither Buddha nor Mahavir, who are known as apostles of non-violence on the globe, ever preached the kind of non-violence which Mahatma Gandhi had tried to preach, which was that if somebody attacks you, you go on taking the blows. If somebody attacks you,
Your video is off. Yeah.
Can you see me now?
Very clear, very clear. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what Gandhiji preached was that if somebody attacks you, don't retaliate, keep on getting thrashed. Now, neither Buddha nor Mahavir ever defined their ideology of non-violence like this. They never prevented people from defending themselves against unprovoked attack. So, this kind of ideology started the process of the destruction of our immunity system. And when Mahatma Gandhi was unfortunately killed by Godse, that was used as an opportunity by a set of people who did not have belief in the Indian system to thrust their ideology on this nation. And that self-pacifist ideology continued. It was more than, you see, Gandhiji had many positive features, He believed in the Indian way of life. Today, Swachh Bharat can be attributed to Gandhiji's thoughts. Even his Gram Swaraj ideology, where he spoke about strengthening the village, his his uh, his uh, 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 his way of social reform was also unique. It was a very inclusive way of social reform, but then his ideology of total non-violence became a millstone around the country's neck. But the people who followed him, which means the people who came to power basically on the platform of, unfortunate killing of Gandhiji, they believed in Gandhiji's self-pacifist ideology, plus did not have belief in the Indian system. So this was a double whammy for India. And these people continued to rule for almost 6 decades, which destroyed, pan-Islamist ideology took roots because of their thoughts. Leftist people who believed in communism, they also got a platform here, and they did they did their best to destroy core Indian thinking, and their main idea was to kill the sense of pride amongst Indians, particularly Hindus. Therefore, it had a all-round effect. It had an effect on education. It had an effect on self-pride. And when you tell me as to why Dattaji Shinde's name is known to Delhi, people of Delhi, for whom he sacrificed his life against an Afghan invader Ahmad Shah Abdali and his ally Najib Khan, then my answer is that the immunity system of this country was destroyed, with the result that all that which could give sense of pride to Indians, patriotic Indians, particularly Hindus, that kind of stuff was kept away from them, and they very unknowingly started subscribing to that kind of thinking, which did not give a sense of pride to them. But now, over the last 8 years, we have seen a great change. I think I always say, I spoke today also in a function, that this is an age of national reawakening. This phase should have started soon after independence, but because of Gandhi's death, unfortunate killing by Godse, people who did not believe in India's core value system, core beliefs, they came to power, and they thrust upon us a kind of thinking which was, in one sense, what I could call, what you call self-flagellation. So, and this process should have begun immediately after independence, because saints like Vivekanand, Swami Dayanand Saraswati, Maharishi Aurobindo, and my guru, Swami Pramanandji of Bharat Sevashram Sangh, these such great saints had prepared ground for India's reawakening soon after independence. But then Gandhiji's killing changed all that, and it took 60 years for India to start realizing its true potential. Adityaji.
See, one thing comes in the play, like we see most of the Indians using American social media platforms, and very freely they are banned. Like if they talk truth, like you are explaining based on your own books and research, you're an author, you research your own topics and then you speak. But if you write something which an American won't understand, it happens with us also. I'm an Indian American, but still it happens with us that sometimes people even treat us like a foreign citizen in the US also. And where even they themselves are immigrants, but they think based on the skin color. So we face this all the time, that if you're not speaking like a European or you don't have the European mindset, because they cannot understand how the Asians think or Indians think, they cannot understand. And they only understand what their community thinks. Okay. So it is very natural also. I don't blame them. And I don't expect them to correct that because it's impossible, because it's ingrained in from childhood. Then how can people from outside, I'm talking about Indians and other countries also, they can expect justice from an American hosted social media platforms? Because they're going to judge based on what their textbooks are telling them. So for their
So you
text,
see, again, I'll revert to my old reply only.
yes,
So our immunity system was badly affected or destroyed. So you need a sense of pride to realize that you should have your own system in every sphere of life. But that since that feeling of pride was missing, we could not develop full. We could not realize our full potential. I think that is the only way I can put it, Aditya ji. But now that process has started, I think the time is not far. Then we'll have an answer to all these problems you are talking about. Process is slow, of course, but it has started.
sometimes in the way of convenience, in the matter of convenience, that we actually it is easier for us to use an established platform, established technologies. A country of 1.4 billion people and the world's fastest consuming nation, India, i- it doesn't have a social media platform which can cater to its needs. I'll give an example of Coup. Very good platform, according to me, very stable, but hardly any Indian politician is there who's acting on it. Like there are people who are there, but that is their second choice, not the first choice. So that mindset is still there. Like you said, again goes back to your original answer. Mindset is the same thing there. But what can be done to change that? Because if Indians don't use their own platform, how will the world use Indian platform?
No, no. You see, I have a very different answer for this question. You see, I believe in the ideology of Veer Savarkar. Veer Savarkar is the greatest symbol of India's pride, unity, and integrity. And he believed in an ideology which I call true nation first. What he said was anything which is negatively affecting your nation, you should not do. Because nation is supreme. Your religion, your caste, your regional pride, everything is secondary to national pride. That is what he said. So Savarkar's nation first is a slogan which is the answer to all of India's problems like the ones you are talking about. Because that will motivate every Indian to think in only one direction as to how can I make my nation great. Even if that requires sacrifice from me personally. I think Savarkar's nation first ideology can do anything and everything for the nation to make it great. Aditya ji. And that is what I'm engaged in that task as of now. Through my book, I made a very serious attempt. Now also I am holding lectures across the country to explain to people as to what is the nation first ideology of Savarkar and why Savarkar is reviled in this country by a section of people. Because they think those who subsist on division of this country. 10 Islamists, communists. They think that if Savarkar's robust ideology, truly nationalist ideology, if it spreads among the youth, then there will be no space left for them in this country. This is the reason why Savarkar is attacked time and again. But they know very well, they have seen the real Savarkar. The real Savarkar is the ultimate symbol of India's unity, integrity, and pride. And if you think along those lines, then there is no challenge which cannot be surmounted or tackled. The challenge of social media platforms would also look very easy to tackle, if you are imbibed with the nation first ideology of Veer Savarkar, Adityaji.
See, if you look at the Japanese society, they focus on their language and their own apps, their own languages, their own apps. They will never use, even though they are an American ally, a junior partner of America, but they will always be focused on their own apps. Any other country which has become big, like including Russia, they will rely on Telegram. Telegram is a Russian system hosted out of UAE. People know that. Now they will rely on Russian systems. India, despite being 1.4 billion people, they rely on American systems where the population of the entire USA is little more than the population of Uttar Pradesh, little more, the same size, literally. Now, the question comes in that if the innovation is lacking because of the originality of ideas, and like you said, the philosophy of Savarkar is lacking, and in this government of India since 2014 has done everything possible to reverse that trend, but still the movies like Pathan come out which enrage Hindus, the majority of the residents of this country. And
I was about to talk to you about this. You finish. I'll just come to that.
and the biggest icons of Indian cinema, they and who should be supporting the what is happening in India, they talk about civil liberties missing. So
You see, this is the dichotomy. So this process of national reawakening is still not complete. Rather, it has just begun, I would say. You see, there is a very dirty song, I would say, in terms of if you compare it with Indian values, called Besharam of picture Pathan, produced by Shah Rukh Khan. It is being beamed over the last 3-4 days. It's a dirty song, I would say. I mean, Shah Rukh Khan at this age, when the country has given him so much, he should be producing healthy films. He should be featuring healthy songs. But he and unfortunately, even Amitabh Bachchan have the audacity to talk about civil liberties. About when they are saying that the voice of freedom and the voice of people is being suppressed. Actually, it is Shah Rukh Khan who has to give an explanation to the nation as to why he is giving us such dirty stuff. So this is all because of that lack of pride which is lacking in this country. And a person like Shah Rukh Khan, his father was from Pakistan. He's basically from Peshawar. He comes to India. He stays in Delhi. He's from Delhi. He becomes a great hero. The people of this country give him so much in terms of love, appreciation of his contribution, his talent, and he is the one who is producing pictures like My Name is Khan. Even his picture, the one which was based on that hockey theme, I forget the name. Do you remember the name, Adityaji?
no, I don't remember. I hardly watched.
There's one. I forget the name of that film. In that also, the main character is somebody who is wronged by India. He's a Muslim fellow. Kabir Khan, the coach in that film, He's a Muslim chap. And he's shown as if now this country has given, I think, how many? Two or three presidents, Muslim presidents, to the nation, except Prime Minister. A Muslim has held every important post, including that of Home Minister. Now, you are from Pakistan. You come to India. Your family comes to India. Here you become a great star. People appreciate your talent, and now, and that too, basically he should have been explaining as to why he gave this dirty song to the country, and at this age, he's in his mid-50s now, maybe more, I don't know. And over and above that, Amitabh Bachchan also joins him. So this is a strange kind of a story for this country. I mean, why Sibyl? Is there any ban on what they speak? Have they been put behind bars for speaking this? So what kind of civil liberties they are talking about? And Amitabh Bachchan joining is most unfortunate. Aditya ji.
The people of India, we have been sold celebrities by the media. Like, this is a celebrity, this is celebrity, and gradually we are finding out that most of these celebrities were not actually pro India. Most of them, majority of them, they made money in India, but they used their money somewhere else. So the question comes in, why did the
Yeah, they even if they are not anti-Indians, they don't have any sense of pride.
no sense of pride?
It's all about pride. I'm not accusing them of being anti-India. Let us not make wild allegations, But they don't have sense of pride. Basically, it's all about lack of sense of pride,
And they made money off of selling to majority of Indians.
So there is an element of ungratefulness also. Sense of pride, sense of ungratefulness. You don't realize. I mean, had I been in Shah Rukh Khan's place, I would have first thought, look here, my father or grandfather came from Peshawar. I want so much of fame. Every Indian is, he should be indebted to every Indian for that matter.
They clearly not. But the biggest icons from the Indian community, Hindu community also, they abhor the very idea of where they come from. And I agree with you, the sense of pride is missing. But at some point, the money and the infiltration by the foreign groups, and the infiltration may not be individuals or the foreign people, but the ideologies get infiltrated. And so far, Indians have been paying for their own destruction. To these people became celebrities, and they carry a voice in the country. They carry an image. They won prestigious prides like Padma Bhushan, Padma this, Padma that. And at the end of the day, Indians find out that all those awards are political, just to gain their favor or to get them joining in political rallies. So how would the Indian people get the truth now going forward?
As I told you, this is an age of national reawakening. Something which has started soon after independence. It has started late, but the journey has begun. You see, the way 370 was removed, Article 370 from Kashmir by this government, I think that is the biggest example of how things have started going in the right direction. Opening of Ram Mandir, I think it's a great thing. The Mahakal corridor in Ujjain, you must go and see. It's a very great example as to how in Mahakal, there was no controversy about the temple. Temple was in place. Why the previous governments could not do what the Prime Minister Modi has done? by creating the Kashi corridor, what you call Mahakal corridor. Why they could not do? Because that sense of pride was missing. I think that is the only answer. But now I think the process has begun, and it will gain speed, further speed in due course of time. Aditya ji.
No, thank you very much. And I think you made all the important points. One last question. Like if you look at USA is going through wokeism, and generally nationalism is considered a bad word for the simple reason I've written in my books also, Gold, Glory, and God. The nationalism is bad because they don't want the natives to rise up and ask for their rights or their land back. That's why nationalism is bad. India is a country of natives. India was never colonized. We are knowing that Indian struggles, Hindus struggled like throughout the Islamic invasion, throughout the Christian invasion from the British, and they retained their language, retained their culture, retained their ethos, everything they retained. Now, program against nationalism is, I told you the reason why it is because they don't want natives to rise back. Like the natives of America cannot even fight back to demand their own country. They are restricted to Facebook groups. So they're only active on Facebook groups right now. This is unfortunate condition in the land of free, which is USA. Our national anthem is like that, land of free and brave. So don't you think that in India, the wokeism has been used since the 9th century when Afghanistan was part of India and Burma was part of India, Myanmar was part of India, including Thailand was part of India, 9th century. So wokeism has been used to cut India down to pieces to such small levels so that they can be easily overcome for commercial purposes. That is the main thing, Artha Sanchayan. So it is going on, and we see that in these celebrities or actors. So when did the actors become the moral police, and how can we reverse it now?
You see, India is going through a very delicate phase in one aspect. We claim that we would become Vishwaguru one day, but the kind of stuff which is being dished out by OTT platforms, by social media platforms, by a section of films, that is leading to a very, very, very undesirable situation in the sense that our youth is under cultural attack by people who want to sell what you call in Hindi, Vyabichar. Aditya ji,
Yes, go ahead. Yes, we're listening.
what is what? How do you? What is the word for Vyabichar?
Vyabichar means bad behavior.
No, this is more than that. I am talking about this whole industry which wants to sell sex and earn money.
Conspiracy or you can say criminal behavior, literally.
No, no. I would say sexual perversion.
Yes. Okay.
So, what is happening now? That it is taking hold of the youth. In that, it answers your question. Film industry, particularly the Bollywood one, is a partner in this. There is hardly any film these days you can watch with your family. Hindi films, particularly. So, I think uh, there is a need for Indians to wake up to this challenge, because otherwise we'll go the American way in due course. We have a very rich culture. We have still the joint family culture is still alive in villages. All that thing would be a thing of the past. And secondly, the sudden jump in the number of rapes in this country is also because of this kind of stuff which has been dished out. Because the idea is to sell Vyabhichar, sexual perversion, and earn money. So I think it's a very big challenge. When we talk about cultural awakening, this is a big challenge. I think, and you see, the approach of people uh, who are very to national ideology, I don't agree with that approach. They say, let us give something good, healthy, people will turn from there to here. But if on Facebook, a boy of 17 or 15 or 12 sees films which show illicit relationship between father-in-law and daughter-in-law, teacher and student, sister and brother-in-law, how he will not remain unaffected? I think that is a big challenge, and nobody is serious about it. Facebook is showing it every day. I think the Facebook person here in charge in India should be in jail the very next day for showing a film which is showing illicit relationship between father-in-law and daughter-in-law. He should be in jail.
Again, brings down to my first question again, that Facebook and Instagram, they are American platforms built for Americans and the
And
Europeans.
Instagram is even worse.
That is no, but you have to understand, they're built for American audience, Western audience. Their values don't match with the Indians. I mean,
Absolutely.
Indians will have to create their own platforms like that.
Absolutely.
So, and the all these social media platforms,
And also act against them.
yes, Indian social
Not just
media,
that.
Indian social media platforms must follow like there should be a new rating, like the adult content and this content, the certification authority on all these platforms. Unless that is done, India is not going to be retaining its own Hindu values. So that is
Absolutely.
civil liberties is a Western. There were no civil liberties in the West before 1908. So the civil liberties concept was introduced to bring some sanity and control in the Western audience. So it cannot be applied on India because India has always been a civilized country, always
Absolutely.
much more
Absolutely.
civilized than the West. So we have to have a new benchmarks, and people like you can make a difference by enforcing those policies and creating a safe environment for children and even adults for that matter. You know, like in the
Very good.
US, my district attorney here, very good person, and she is regularly acting on it on a local level. She has done amazing work by the law, and that's what is needed actually. One commissioner can make a lot of difference. People like you can make a lot of difference.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and namaste. And people
Thank you.
should like, share, subscribe, and let us know your feedback. Thank you.
Thank
Namaste.
you. Thank you.